I'm Mark,
And I'm Josh.
and you're watching Alter Ego Comics TV, the weekly videocast for Alter Ego Comics in Lima, Ohio. It's a big week for Batman fans. We've got Batman the Return, which is a one-shot which kind of finishes up the Bruce Wayne The Road Home storyline or miniseries that Grant Morrison was doing. This one also written by Grant Morrison with some really nice artwork by David Finch. So it kind of puts, it ends the one series and begins kind of the future of the Bat family titles. So perfect for all Batman fans. You definitely want to check this one out. Also this week we've got Batman Incorporated #1, which is a new ongoing Batman series. It's a great place to start if you're a Batman fan. And this spins out of Batman and Robin #16 with the revelation by Bruce Wayne that he, cover your ears if you don't want to hear the spoiler, Bruce Wayne admits that he's financing Batman. So it's kind of like the end of Iron Man where Tony Stark says, I am Iron Man. He's not listening to me anymore. But anyway, spoiler warning off. You can come back if you've been watching this. But this is it's an interesting concept. Something new that hasn't been done before in the Bat books. So first issue, great place to jump on, Batman Incorporated. Also written by Grant Morrison, if I didn't say that already.
Also, we've got Chaos War Dead Avengers. If you've been following the Chaos War, you know a lot of Earth's heroes are temporarily incapacitated by the Nightmare King. And the only people left to save the world are Avengers who are already dead. You get to see appearances by some people who have been dead for decades in some cases.
Yeah.
And a lot of fan-favorite characters here, written by Fred Van Lente. And I'm actually, as a newer fan, I'm not familiar with half these characters, but it's great. There's a good introduction. They give you little vignettes with each one. And even characters like Vision that you may already be familiar with, you see moments in his life we haven't seen before, and it gives you a little clue into his psyche. So good first issue, and you should check it out.
Superman Batman #78. Superman Batman is one of those series where the creative team changes on a regular basis. Sometimes we get one shots, sometimes we get 3 or 4 issue story arcs, sometimes we get the same creative team for a year or more. This one is a one shot written by Joe Kelly with art by Ed Benes, and for the artwork alone you should pick up this book because Ed Benes' stuff is great. But it's a really cool one-off kind of light beat.
It's offbeat and it's light.
Offbeat, lighthearted story. And I don't want to give too much away, but you do see some stuff that you've never seen in a Superman Batman comic book before. Well, basically, it's 2 kids who are probably 10 or 12 debating who would win in a fight between Superman and Batman, and each kid has a favorite. One kid's wearing a Batman T-shirt, the other kid's wearing a Superman T-shirt, and they go through all these different scenarios. And it's a really cool one-off story. Highly recommended. You don't have to be a huge fan of either character. Just kind of a feel-good, fun story.
Absolutely. All right, next up, Curse of the Mutants, X-Men #5. If you've been following this, you know that the X-Men are at war with the vampires, and Utopia is under siege. This is issue 5 of a 6-issue arc on the book, so we're starting to see the story come together. We're getting close to revelations, the end of the world. Don't want to tell you what happens, but we finally see why Scott Summers has been saving the world since he was 15, and that he does, in fact, have a plan. So if you like the X-Men, it's definitely worth a read.
Ant-Man and Wasp #1. We were supposed to have this last week, but through a shipping malfunction on the part of our distributor, we didn't get it until this week. But this is written and drawn by Tim Seeley, the guy that created Hack Slash. Nice to see him doing something other than Hack Slash, and he does a very good job at it. The artwork is nice. The story is well-paced. It's got funny moments. It's got action scenes, and we're mixing these 2 characters. I mean, basically, the new guy, O'Grady, who's wearing the Ant-Man costume, has never really had a face-to-face chat with Hank Pym, who created the character of Ant-Man. And Hank is, of course, the character of Wasp, which he took on after his wife Janet was killed. So it's a good first issue. It's only a 3-issue series, but it's interesting seeing these 2 characters relate to each other and have to work together. And again, it's just kind of nice to see Seeley doing something other than Hack Slash. Don't get me wrong, I'm a Hack Slash fan, but he's showing that he's got the chops to do something other than his creator-owned book. So kudos to you, Mr. Seeley.
Now for a segment we like to call Ongoingly Awesome. We usually highlight one-shots, new books coming out to get you on the series, but sometimes we feel that a book's not getting the attention it deserves, and at the moment that's Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts is hands down my favorite Avengers family title right now. You've got Luke Cage leading a pretty familiar group of villains in trying to make the world a better place. And this week's issue is 150. It's oversized. We get a good story that also features your classic Avengers, Iron Man, Steve Rogers, and Thor. And you also get a reprint of the very first Thunderbolts story in the back. So it's a real good read, and if you're not reading this, you should feel bad.
You should. I could just echo everything Josh says. I've said this before. I didn't read Thunderbolts until the new creative team took over, until Luke Cage took over, excuse me, as the director of the program, and it has been awesome.
Easily.
Awesomely ongoingly awesome. Excuse me. So, speaking of awesome, Tron Legacy opens next month, and there's a new graphic novel out that bridges the gap between the original Tron movie 28 years ago and Tron Legacy. So if you're a Tron fan, if you know anyone who's a Tron fan, this would make a great gift. It's only $9.99, but again, this is a miniseries that is supposed to be kind of a fill-in between the original Tron movie and Tron Legacy. And the Tron Legacy movie just looks like it's going to be phenomenal.
Looks awesome.
Old Jeff Bridges and young Jeff Bridges in the same movie.
And last up, we've got Fables Deluxe Edition 2 hardcover. If you're not familiar with these, Vertigo does these Deluxe Edition hardcovers. They take popular books and put them usually at a rate of 2 trades to 1 hardcover, and they come out fairly slowly, once every 6 to 9 months. But they're absolutely worth the buck. You get it's an oversized format. It's a little bigger than your trades would be. You get a higher quality paper. It's nice binding. They're wonderful gifts, and we probably told you plenty of times how awesome Fables is, and makes a great gift for a new fan. We also have Volume 1 in stock.
And I'll mention a board game, since we are stocking some of our favorite board games, or our new favorites for this holiday season. Castle Panic is one of my new favorites. I just played it a couple of months ago for the first time, and it was a great family game. There were 4 of us, my wife and 2 boys, ages 9 and 11, and we all, stuck with it. We were all interested in it. You're basically working as a team to defend your castle from orcs, goblins, and trolls. And it's a cooperative play game, which is nice because then you don't have some of the rivalry that comes up, which is good in some games. But when you're usually playing a family game, and especially when you've got kids, close to each other in age, sometimes they go a little too far. They start beating each other up. Not things like that. But this game, you have to work together to survive. You either all fail or you all succeed. But there is an ultimate winner if you are able to stave off the creatures and keep your castle from falling to them. But really easy to learn. The rules are excellent. It's very clear-cut. In fact, a lot of the rules are actually on the game board itself, so you don't have to remember. You just look down at the board and it tells you certain things. A good quality game. $35 for many hours of fun playing this game, and it's going to play differently every time. I don't know about you, but I grow a little weary of your standard Monopoly and life and things like that. This is a lot more exciting. Let me put it that way. And again, the cooperative play aspect was very appealing to me, trying to keep everybody happy and having fun while you're playing a game. So Castle Panic gets a big thumbs up from me. It's one that we're going to be playing probably for years to come. That's it for this week. We'll be back next week as long as everyone's healthy, and we'll be back with another batch of comics and cool stuff to talk about. Thanks for watching.
Take care.